Thank you for inviting me to this very, very important meeting. So, um, I'm a political scientist that have concentrated my research on the West Bank. First strategy that the EU had it is the diplomatic freeze of Gaza, 2007. And I just want to start briefly by saying that I believe that this complete diplomatic freeze has obviously failed in promoting any kind of Palestinian state building, democratization, and has not led to anything fruitful. So that's my first statement. But regarding the Freedom Flotilla and Greta Thunberg, since I'm also speaking as a Swedish person, I believe that Greta Thunberg and the activists are of immense importance in today's society, where there is an ongoing attack from Israel and from other countries in the world on civil society. We see it throughout Europe that especially Palestinian activists are silenced as a process of silencing dissidents and opposition. So all crew members on the ship are very important, and we don't know what has happened to all of them. Some of them have landed in France. Greta Thunberg is on the way to Sweden right now. But this needs also to be seen in a bigger light of an attack on civil society and the shrinking civic space in the world. And I believe that the more the world goes right wing, the less of a role international law, human rights, and also international organizations play. And this is where I want to share some insights from the Swedish Red Cross. The Israeli government has said that the argument why they don't let the UN in is because of Antonio Guterres being anti-Semitic. But in my opinion, I think that it's very important for all states now to work for strengthening the UN and strengthening international organizations that actually have an idea and a plan for how the humanitarian aid can be distributed. Because what we are seeing now is total chaos and breaches against any kind of international law, actually. The shooting of civilians, our colleague said it before, the shooting of civilians and also the militarization of aid and pushing the Gazan civilians from one point to another where they are shot at. This is not according to any international law, the Geneva Convention, you name it. I could speak hours about international law, but my point is that 70% of the people killed and the Palestinians killed are women and children. And according to international law, civilians are not to be killed by any of the parts. And this needs to end immediately. So these kind of private actors that are taking care of the aid, that I believe is not a fruitful solution at all. And we need to let in the Israeli government needs to let in the Red Cross or the UN. And we need to start seeing it in the light of a bigger crisis where human rights and international organizations and civil society are suffering a lot. So I think what states should do is stop silencing dissent, strengthen civil society organizations, and especially also stand up for the humanitarian aid that is needed in Gaza so much, because these pictures of burning children, we have seen them before in Vietnam, and the situation where starvation is used as a method of war is devastating, and it needs to have an end. And to just finalize my statement, if we look at these 20 months now since the 7th of October, the dehumanization started in the form of a rhetoric about drawing a parallel between Palestinian citizens and animals. Smotrich and Ben-Gvir talked about not letting a single piece of wheat into Gaza. And this dehumanization has just increased to a point, and we have seen this before in history in other contexts of genocide, that is unbearable now. And I think civil society really needs to step up. And I think that the flotilla did a really good job in that. And the breaches against international law were already pointed out by my colleague. Thank you.